Hello there, BookTube. My name is Daniel. Welcome back to my channel, GuiltyFeat. I don't know a soul who's not been battered. I don't have a friend who feels at ease. I don't know a dream that's not been shattered or driven to its knees. But it's all right. It's all right, for we lived so well, so long. Still, when I think of the road we're traveling on, I've got no rhythm. And today I'm going to do a video where I do a number of things. One of the things I sort of decided when I started this channel was I wasn't going to talk too much about myself. I want to talk about books, and I'm going to try not to talk too much about myself, but I'm going to talk about a story that was in the news this week, a literary story. I'm going to out myself, and then I'm going to invite anybody who wants to talk further about it to contact me, and we can continue this conversation offline or however you would like. The story is, I read about it first on Twitter, and I've got a number of sources here that are all quoting people, so I'm going to do a lot of reading of things that I've read. I understand that in any news story there are things people claim one thing or reported speech that someone else may or may not have said, and there's some dispute going on about what actually was said. But so this is about the story, but I appreciate that some of the people involved may have a different view of how this story played out. So as I say, I read about this first on Twitter, but it was a story about a panel that was supposed to take place on Saturday. I'm recording this late Thursday evening. It was supposed to take place this Saturday at the Albany Book Festival, which was taking place at it was being hosted by the New York State Writers Institute. And the panel was to be moderated by an author with whom I'm not familiar, called Elisa Albert. And this is I'm quoting from the blurb that was in the program for this event. Elisa Albert, and the title of the panel was going to be Girls Coming of Age. Elisa Albert was the moderator, in conversation with Aisha Abdel-Gawad, Lisa Coe, and Emily Layden. Of all those names, I wasn't familiar with any of them, apart from Lisa Coe, who is familiar to me. I haven't read, there was a book a few years ago called The Levers, and I know she's written other stuff since then, but I wasn't familiar with either of the other panelists. And then the rest of the blurb is about Elisa Albert, who was moderating the panel. So Elisa Albert, award-winning fiction writer, is the author of The Snarling Girl, August 2024, so her most recent book, a collection of essays that range in subject from the creative process to reproductive justice, ambition, Annie DeFranco, Judaism, punk music, and the strange city of Albany, New York. Author Samantha Irby said in praise, "I'm a hater, but I like Elisa Albert, an actual genius." Okay, so I'm familiar with Elisa Albert at this point, and I haven't read any of the other people mentioned. Elisa Albert received a message this week from one of the organizers, and again, this is being quoted, a guy called Mark Koplik, who was one of the organizers, who writes to her, claiming, because he doesn't have a phone number at this point, "Hi Elisa, we have a crazy situation developing and we'd love to talk on the phone. We don't have your number." Basically, and this is all part of the same email, basically, not to sugarcoat this, Aisha Gawad and Lisa Coe don't want to be on a panel with a, and this is in inverted commas, Zionist. We're taken by surprise and somewhat nonplussed and want to talk this out. And then attached to the same post on Twitter was clearly something that happens to follow up after they've spoken to Elisa Albert. "Thank you for taking the time to speak today about this unexpected and untenable situation. We spoke to everyone involved and we're at an impasse. As a result, there will not be a panel on girls coming of age at the Albany Book Festival. It is not happening. We regret the situation, which was out of our control. It is unfortunate for everyone involved." So as this was reported, and it's been reported in a number of places, then picked up and reported elsewhere, Elisa Albert initially was the only person giving any kind of comment. She made it reasonably clear, quite starkly, that she believed that the people, Aisha Gawad and Lisa Coe, and then the third, it was suggested that it was Aisha Gawad and Lisa Coe who didn't want to be in the panel because she was a Zionist, and Emily Layden, the third panelist, who was approached, who said, "Well, I don't want to get involved, there's going to be trouble," and so she dropped out. And having no panelists to moderate, the festival decided to cancel. Elisa Albert said that she was willing to give a presentation. She suggested at one point they should do it with 3 empty chairs for the people who refused to appear on a panel with her, but the decision was to cancel the whole thing. She has made it clear when questioned that she thinks this response is anti-Semitic, And I'm inclined to agree with that. And this is the point where I am myself. In case anyone was unaware, I too am a Zionist, which means Aisha Gawad and Lisa Ko would refuse to appear on a panel with me. I'm happy to identify as a Zionist and let them know that. I'm more concerned about what they would do if they weren't sure whether or not someone was a Zionist before they appeared on a panel with them. Would they question them? Do they go up to people and say, listen, before I sit down and talk to you, are you a Zionist? Because I won't sit on a panel with Zionists. My mum's a Zionist, for example. My children, I think, identify as Zionists. And would Aisha Gawad and Lisa Ko refuse to appear on a panel with them? Now, if they didn't introduce themselves and say, hi, I'm Daniel's mum and I'm a Zionist, how would they know? And would that be, would they expect somebody to identify sort of physically in some way to show that they're a Zionist so that Lisa Ko and Aisha Gawad could feel comfortable and not have to get into a whole problem? There's some questions here that I find concerning, but I wanted to, rather than go into it in detail here and have a conversation, I want to invite anybody who's interested by what I mean when I say I'm a Zionist, what I mean about anything. You can always contact me at my email address is guiltyfeat@gmail.com, GUILTY, why? Because we love you, guiltyfeat, FEAT @gmail.com, and I'm happy to have a conversation with anybody about probably almost anything, certainly about what someone who defines Zionist, what I mean by Zionist. I'm happy to have that conversation with you. Happy to have a conversation with Lisa Ko and Aisha Gawad. The follow-up has been sort of rather chaotic. A statement was issued by the Writers' Institute later on that said, yeah, it's possible we handled this badly by cancelling it instead of trying to give Lisa Albert somewhere else to talk. And then Lisa Ko eventually issued a statement. Lisa Ko and Aisha Gawad immediately turned off comments and turned their Instagram accounts private, and then later on have sort of issued half statements suggesting that not everything that's been said has been truthful. So I'd love to get a fuller statement from each of them about why and what they meant and what their actual policy is. Would they sit in a restaurant with a Zionist? Would they sign a book if the person presenting it to them said, oh, by the way, I'm a Zionist? What are the rules here? I'm interested to understand that. Elisa Albert put out a column on Tablet magazine this week, and I just want to read a little bit of this. As I write this went out, I believe today. As I write these words, my challah dough is in the mixer for 20 minutes before going into the fridge overnight. Tomorrow before Shabbat, when the time comes to braid and bake, I will break off a piece of dough the size of an olive, wrap it up twice and throw it away. This is an esoteric tradition, a symbolic offering, a form of performative charity, a ridding of excess, a mini sacrifice, a gift, a casting off. But we're not there yet. For now, mixer on hypnotic low, I'm puzzling over how to face the troubling situation at hand. Two writers I don't know just sabotaged our scheduled panel at a literary festival in my hometown. On purported grounds, they refused to share space with a Zionist. Me. And me. And there's a great piece, I'll link to it, where I think she sort of reflects on what this means and how to deal with such a situation, and ends the piece quite generously. Aisha Gawad and Lisa Ko, please come and join me at my Shabbes table so we can break bread together and talk. It's the only way. I'm happy to talk if anyone has any questions or issues. From the beginning, as I say, I said when I started this channel I didn't want to talk too much about me, and I still don't particularly want to talk too much about me. In talking about books, I tend to talk a lot about me and my relationship to those books. But if anyone would like to talk to me about what I mean when I say Zionist, why I came to live in Israel, what I think of the what is going on here, if they're interested in me as a person with opinions rather than as part of some group with a title that seems to be defined by people who don't identify by that title, then by all means get in touch. GuiltyFeat@gmail.com. Hope this wasn't too weird and out of character, but happy to chat anytime. Next video will be much more about books rather than a story about books and authors. Take care, God bless, bye.